Hello, beloveds. Hello, hello, hello. Listen, beloved. Listen. God has not called you to live in lack. God has not called you to live um, in a stagnated place. God has not called you to live to borrow. He hasn't called you to be at the bottom. Listen, when you are God's children, when we are God's children and we are heirs of God, He has not called us to be borrowers. Okay, we're never supposed to borrow anything. We're never supposed to be at the back. We're never supposed to be at the bottom. God has called us to be the heads. He's called us to be above. He's called us to be lenders and just all. He's called us to be great. Okay, He's called us to be great. So, beloved, it is time for you to shift your mindset. It's time for you to shift the way you see yourself. It is time for you to shift the way you've been feeling about your life. It's time for you to shift it, because God has called you to great things. You haven't seen those things. You haven't been able to move in those things as of yet because you haven't shifted your mindset. You haven't shifted your mindset. I was driving yesterday, and as I was driving, I said to myself, I have been in survival mode for so many years. For so many years, just surviving. Just surviving. And I said, it is now time for me to live. I refuse. Beloved, you got to get to a place where you refuse. I refuse to just exist. I refuse to live in bondage. I refuse to live a stagnated life. Like, I refuse. Like, I'm not going to do it anymore. You have to get to that place, beloved, where you just refuse. You have to begin to see yourself the way God sees you. You have to begin to see yourself the way God sees you. God says that you are the head and not the tail. God says that you are above and you're not beneath. God says you are a lender. You shall lend to many nations, but you shall never have to borrow. God says that the land that you shall be flowing in land and a land filled with milk and honey, not only for you, but for your descendants, for your children's children. Beloved, you have to begin to shift your mindset. You have to get to a place where I refuse. Where I refuse to be at the bottom, where I refuse to be in the back, where I refuse to borrow, where I refuse to be stagnated, where I refuse to be tormented in my mind, where I refuse. You got to get to a place where you say, I refuse. Like, I refuse. It's not up for discussion. Nobody can change my mind. I will not waver. Like, you have to get to that place where you refuse to live any other kind of way other than what God has spoken over your life, other than what God has promised over your life. God has great things in store for you, but He cannot give them to you until your mindset shifts. He cannot give them to you until your mindset is in alignment with what He has spoken over your life. He cannot give you more than enough when you don't think you deserve more than enough. He cannot give you abundance when you don't think you're worthy of abundance. He cannot plant you in a land flowing with milk and honey when you don't think you belong there. He cannot give it to you. So, beloved, it's time for you to shift your mindset. It's time for you to see yourself the way God sees you. It's time for you to know who you are in God. It's time for you to know, listen, I am a child of God. I am a heir of God. God has promised these things over my life, and I refuse. You have to get to a place where you refuse to settle. You have to get to a place where you refuse to just accept anything less than what God has promised over your life. You got to get to a place where you refuse to be in survival mode. It is time for you to live. It is time for you to thrive. It is time for you to have more than enough. It is time for you to blossom. It is time for you to be planted by the trees of living water where your wells shall never run dry. It is time for you to walk in the land flowing with milk and honey. It is time that your children shall have more than enough. It's time for your children to see you thrive. If your child is looking at you constantly being in survival mode, then your children is going to adapt that same mindset. They're going to adapt that same mindset. So if your child see you thriving and growing and living, then your children will begin to have a different mindset. They will begin to have a different perspective. They will begin to just flow in greatness. They will begin to have more than enough, because you have planted a seed of more than enough. And so now you and your descendants shall have more than enough. Listen, beloved, it's time to shift your mindset. It's time for you to change the way you see yourself. It's time for you to flow. It's time for you to have more than enough. It's your time. It's your time. It's your time. I love you all with the love of the Lord. The Lord loves you. The Lord is ready to give you everything that he has promised over your life, but it's time to shift. Listen, it's time to shift. I love you all. Make sure you make sure you subscribe to this channel. You don't want to miss what God is doing through me to get to you.